Hi everybody, and welcome to part 3 of the unbelievable top secret diary of Pig by me, Emma Stamp, who not only wrote the words but also drew the pictures. Today we are going to be continuing on and finding out just what is going to happen to dear old Pig. We found out that his farmer, who he thought was his best friend, actually isn't his best friend and wants to eat him. That the evil chickens have built a space rocket and they wanted to send Pig to Pluto on it, which he wasn't really keen about, but when he found about farmer wanting to eat him, he definitely did want to go. So off he went into Pluto, and he had a bit scary time in space, and then he landed on what he thought was Pluto, which turned out to be the William H Pluto Garden Centre. And it turned out Duck had gone with him, because Duck was in the hoo-hocks or stuck in the toolbox, as it turned out he was saying. So anyway, here they are. This is where we left them yesterday, underneath the flower pot. I'm wondering what they're going to do next. So here we go. Whizzle day. Hello. I has made a very important decision. Even though I is back on Earth, I is still going to make up my own name days. I thinks this is much more fun. I hopes you agree. Today was quite a bonkers day. I has so much to tell you, so here goes. When we wakes up from our little sleep, we starts to try and make a plan. Duck says we can't stay in the garden centre. 1, because Mr. and Mrs. Farmer might find me here and take me home and eat me. 2, because any farmer might find me here and take me home and eat me. Duck says farmers likes eating pigs. He also says they like eating ducks too. Wow, farmers really can be super evil. Why would they want to eat duck? Duck says he thinks our best option is to refuel the trocket and use it to fly somewhere else. He says he is not sure where yet, but he is sure he'll figure it out. Anywhere is better than a place jam-packed full of farmers. Or he just hopes it is somewhere with lots of yummy slops. To make fuel, I needs to eat. Duck poo is too small and too runny to make good fuel, so it's up to me and my bottom. Duck says he thinks there might be food in the big shed with the sign on top of it. Farmers always keeps food in sheds. When we comes out from under the flower pot, I sees the garden centre for the first time in daylight. Duck says garden centres is where farmers come to get things to make their gardens look nice. Well, he is very confused why a farmer would want a big stone farmer with chicken wings blowing water out of his ears. That's what Pig has actually seen. Or a giant frog blowing water out of its bottom. Duck says they is called water fountains. I says they is silly. The trocket is way too big for us to hide, but I was thinking that it does not look stranger than all the other weird ornaments and fountains what is around. Duck says he hopes I is right, because we has to leave it where it is while we goes off to find slops. We creeps as carefully as we can towards the big shed. We is just tiptoeing through the pit what is full of wooden ornaments when we spots a different Mr. and Mrs. Farmer and a mini farmer. I is guessing the mini farmer is belonging to the Mr. and Mrs. Farmer. He is very fat and waddles like Duck does. The Mr. and Mrs. Farmer is looking at some flowers. The mini farmer looks bored. He comes over to me and Duck. Duck whispers to stand super still and try and look like ornaments. We both stand as still as we can. The mini farmer picks up a wooden sheep ornament while he's standing near us and pulls its head off. He laughs and throws it on the floor. Then he picks up a wooden cow and does the same. What an evil mini farmer! Well, he's thinking you would not be liking him either. He then walks over to Duck and bends over to pick him up. There is no way I was going to let him try and pull Duck's head off. As he bends over, I bites him as hard as I can on his fat bottom. I digs my teeth right into his soft squidgy bum. The evil mini farmer makes a terrible howling noise. I lets go of his bottom and he runs back to the Mr. and Mrs. Farmer, screaming and crying. He points at us, but we stand super still. Mr. and Mrs. Farmer looks angry with him and drags him off. Ha ha, evil mini farmer, you was not going to hurt my best friend. Duck says I should be very proud of myself for being so brave. This makes me feel happy inside. Maybe I isn't a softy pig after all. Finally we makes it to the doors of the big shed. They is huge. They makes me feel very small. But I is being brave, so I says to Duck, don't worry, I will open them. Even though I is really not sure how I can. But I doesn't even have to try. When I gets up to them, they opens with a big whoosh noise. I has no idea how I did it, but I was not going to tell Duck that. I just pretends like I knew exactly what I was doing. The shed is huge inside and full of all sorts of strange things. The things I like the most is called a sit-on lawnmower. They look like little tractors. If I was a farmer, I would have one of these and ride round on it all day long. There is not any farmer in the big shed, so we don't have to do any more pretending to be ornaments. Just past the sit-on lawnmowers, we comes to this bit where it's full of bags with pictures of animals on them. They is just like the bags what farmer feeds the sheep with, only they don't have pictures of sheep on. They has pictures of dogs and cats. There is even some small boxes with pictures of orange fishies on it. I is so hungry I doesn't care whose food is inside. I pulls one off the shelf with a picture of a dog on it. We don't have any special farmer tools to open it, so I uses my big bottom. He does a little jump in the air and lands right in the middle of it. Bang goes the bag, and all these brown biscuit things fly out everywhere. Woohoo! Food! but the food tastes disgusting. It is horrible and dry and makes me cough. Well, he's very glad I is not a dog. I tries another bag with a picture of a cat on it, but that is horrible and dry too, and the little orange fishy food is the worst of all. I tells Duck I is not sure I can eat enough of this to make the poo we need. Duck says he has an idea. Next to the shed with all the bags of food is a little pond with little fishies in. Duck says if we put all the biscuits into the pond and mix them up, they will be easier to eat. They'll just be like slops. So he opens lots of bags and pours them all in. Then I gets in and mixes them up. Duck is right. It's gloopy just like slops, and it tastes yummy just like slops. Hurrah! Oh, he is so happy. I gobbles it all up until there is nothing left, not even the little fishies. Oops. Duck says, "Oh, he's as round as a hay bale." Ha! A big bale. I feels like I might go pop at any second. I wishes that we could just go back to the trocket, fill it with poo and fly away from here, but we can't because it takes me a little while to turn slops into poo. So he goes and hides back under the big flower pot and waits while my tummy goes gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Duck says we should have a little sleep, so he has lots of energy for when we is flying, so that is what we is going to do. Whizzle Day Part 2. Hello. As I was lying waiting for my tummy to turn all the slops into poo, this thought pops into my head. I loves the farm. The farm is my own. But if we go there, Mr. and Mrs. Farmer is there, and they wants to eat me up. And the evil chickens are there, and they is evil and nasty. But if we could make Mr. and Mrs. Farmer and the evil chickens not there, then it would be the best place in the whole world to be. I whispers my idea to Duck. I thinks he's a little surprised that I had such a good one. He says it is great. I feels very, very proud. No one has ever said my ideas is great before. I was just about to tell him the best bit, how he thinks we can make them all not there at all. Oh, he's very pleased with this bit. But when we hears a loud farmer voice, Duck says they was talking about the trocket. He is a very high squeaky sounding farmer. I thinks that this must be the mini evil farmer what tried to pull Duck's head off earlier. Duck listens to what they are saying. He says it is not good. The evil mini farmer wants the trocket to play with in his garden. He's not going to let him get our trocket. We have to do something fast. Duck agrees, so he carefully wiggles out from underneath the flower pot. Luckily, Mr. and Mrs. Farmer and the evil mini farmer are standing on the other side of the trocket, so they can't quite see us. Quiet as we can, we climbs up inside the trocket. I sits on my special seat and starts to fill up the fuel tank with poo, while Duck keeps an eye on the farmers. I tries to be as quick and quiet as I can, but when I poos, I always farts. I bets you does too. I only does a little one, but the evil mini farmer hears it and looks straight up at us. I sits as still as I can, pretending to be an ornament again, but I thinks he must have remembered that it was me what bit him on the bottom. He starts shouting and pointing. They all looks up to where Duck and I is sitting. The Mr. Farmer reaches up and opens the trocket door. Me and Duck looks at each other. He looks as scared as I feel. The mini farmer jumps up onto the trocket steps and starts climbing up towards us. I does the only thing what I knows how to do. I lets out a massive fart. It's a real stinker. It smells of orange fishy's food and cat food and dog's food all mixed up together. The mini farmer almost falls off the steps. It's that bad. They all hold their noses and start coughing. I has no more time to make any more poo fuel. While they's coughing away, Duck jumps out and presses the big green go button on the side of the trocket. The trocket roars into life and all the farmers jump backwards to get out of the way of the flames. He looks very surprised. The evil mini farmer tries to grab Duck, but Duck is too quick and scrambles up the wheel away from his mini farmer evil mini hands. The trocket doesn't just shoot up in the air like it did before. It stays on the ground, just shaking and shuddering and making a loud put 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 noise. A picking voice says, "Oh, you silly, silly piggy wiggy. The fuel is much too low for flight mode. Drive mode will now activate. Good luck, old chap. You really will need it." Cla 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 cla. Suddenly the trocket falls forward, so now it's on all four wheels and I realise what is happening. I was going to have to drive. But I can't drive. I is a pig. And pigs don't drive. But it's too late to stop. The trocket shoots off across the garden centre, leaving the Mr. and Mrs. Farmer and their evil mini farmer in a cloud of smelly poo smoke. I doesn't know what to do. I looks for Duck, but Duck is clinging to the side of the trocket. The evil mini farmer runs after us, still trying to grab him. I quickly wind down to the window with the trotter eyes, not steering wheel, grabs hold of one of Duck's wings and pulls him back into the trocket. We crashes through the garden gnomes, the water fountains and the wooden or animal ornaments and straight out through the front gates. Bye-bye, evil mini farmer. You can't run as fast as our trocket. I tries to press the brake to slow us down a little, as it is very hard to control the trocket when it is going so fast. But my leg is not long enough to reach it, so we are stuck, going fast. Duck says I have to try and steer the trocket so that it stays on the big grey path, what he says is called a road. I tries my best to do this, but it is not easy. The silly road has silly bendy bits in it. I find them very difficult. It is much easier to drive straight across them than round them. We is out of control. We crashes through fences and edges. We even go through something what Duck says is called a village hall. There is lots of farmers in it having a big party. I does a little wave as we drive through to try and be polite. I think she might have been making quite a big mess. Oops. Duck presses some buttons on the sat-nav. He says that as this is Farmer's sat-nav, it will know the way to get back to where Farmer lives. He says it is super clever. It's also super rude. It says, please turn your fat little piggy face to the left at the junction, right across the crossroads and straight over the roundabout. Claw, 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 claw. Duck points so I don't have to take my eyes off the road to look at the sat-nav. When we get to the roundabout, he tells me to go round it, but I don't know how. So I steer straight over and we flies right over the big bumpy bit in the middle. Whee! I'm starting to get the hang of this, I thinks. I feels like Pig, the racing trocket driver. Now the road is getting thinner and thinner and the hedges is getting taller and taller. This makes driving a bit easier, because if you go wrong, the edges bounce you back the way you need to go. Bounce, bounce, bounce. It's great fun. I is not sure that Duck thinks it is quite as fun as I does, because he goes a very funny colour green. Don't worry, Duck, I assure we'll be there soon, I says. Bounce, bounce, bounce. He's bouncing happily along when I sees another tractor coming down the road towards us. The other tractor stops when he sees us, but we can't stop. Duck screams, ah! I screamed, ah! I thinks we's getting too close. I can see the farmer and the other tractor scream, ah! I guess he has never seen a pig driving a trocket before. Right at the very last minute, I spies a gateway. I turns the steering wheel and we smashes through the gate and rockets off across the field. Phew-wee! I is very pleased with myself. I is sure Duck is quite pleased with me too, but he can't tell me because he's busy going greener and greener. Driving in fields is much easier than driving on roads. You don't have to worry about going round silly corners. The sat-nav says, all we has to do to reach the farm is, may we kindly suggest you bear right at the old oak tree, make a hard right at the river and take the third exit at the rusty old digger, you oversized pink windbag. Clack, 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 clack. As we whizzes across the field what Farmer keeps his big hay bale in, I suddenly realise I was not sure how he's going to stop. We is getting very close to the farm and I don't want Farmer to hear us or see us. We has no option. I has to stop the trocket somehow. So I turns the steering wheel around as hard as I can and we spins around and drives straight back towards the big haystack. Hold on tight, I shouts to Duck. Whoomph! We go straight into the haystack. The front of the trocket disappears completely inside. It makes spluttering noises and stops. Phew! We has made it. Duck says that he is very glad the journey is over and that he never wants to drive anywhere with me again. Duck is so rude sometimes. There they are, stuck in the hay bale. We decide to sleep in the trocket tonight because Duck is afraid that if we sleep outside, Fox might come and gobble him up. We can't go back to the farm because if we go there, Farmer will gobble me up. So he lies on the seat and Duck lies on top of me. Duck says I make a very comfy bed, though he says he wishes his bed didn't have such a noisy tummy. Phew, that was a lot to write. My trotter is super tired and achy. I really hopes that you enjoys reading it all. So there we go. We're going to leave that for today with we've got Duck lying on top of Pig, fast asleep in the trocket. So yes, so come back tomorrow and we'll find out what exactly Pig's plan for Farmer is and whether it works. So there we go. Now today's shout out goes to Ollie Cameron in Oxford. Hi there, Ollie. I believe you haven't been doing your schoolwork. So this is a little note from me saying, yeah, do that thing. If you have any shout outs you'd like, then please do either contact me through Twitter or email me at ask.emmerstamp@gmail.com. And I look forward to seeing you all back here for the final instalment tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.